Last year, Gen Z helped reshape Nepal's politics. Young voters backed Balen Shah, hoping he would deliver the change they had long demanded. But less than a year later, many of those same young people are back on the streets, this time protesting against his government. So what changed? The immediate trigger was the death of a 25-year-old ride-hailing driver Ganesh Nepali. According to the Kathmandu Post, he was waiting for his next booking in Kathmandu on 9th of July when municipal police logged his motorcycle over an alleged parking violation and imposed a fine. After an argument with the police, he set himself on fire and later died of his injuries. Public anger intensified after videos showed the severely injured Ganesh being moved into a vehicle instead of being taken on a stretcher. On 12th of July, hundreds of protesters gathered in Kathmandu, demanding accountability over the incident. But the protest soon grew into something much larger. Many protesters say the tragedy reflects deeper concerns about governance. One of the biggest flashpoints has been the government's eviction drive against riverside squatter settlements. Nepal's law defines landless squatters as people who own no land anywhere in the country and cannot otherwise acquire it. Authorities say the drive is part of a broader urban management plan. Protesters argue that many families were evicted without adequate rehabilitation despite legal provisions requiring resettlement. Of the 2,600 families whose homes were demolished, only 325 have reportedly been shifted to temporary holding centers. Protesters are demanding rehabilitation for displaced families, housing support, and the release of activists detained during earlier demonstrations. The protests have also revived criticism of policing practices. Legal experts argue that municipal authorities have increasingly exceeded their constitutional powers. Under Nepal's laws, municipal authorities are primarily responsible for protecting civic property, monitoring sanitation compliance, and managing local events. But protesters allege that excessive force has been used during anti-encroachment drives and against street vendors, despite questions over the scope of those powers. The debate has now widened beyond one incident to broader concerns over governance and accountability. Balen Shah came to power with strong youth support after promising a break from conventional politics. His government secured a near two-thirds majority in parliament and unveiled a 100-point reform agenda, promising sweeping changes within its first 100 days. But many young voters now say they have seen little progress. Critics have also accused Shah of limiting public engagement and failing to remain accessible after taking office. For many protesters, the gap between expectations and delivery has become increasingly difficult to ignore. The protests are no longer just about the death of one young man. They reflect growing frustration among a section of Nepal's youth over governance, accountability, and the pace of promised reforms. How Prime Minister Balen Shah responds in the coming weeks may determine whether he can rebuild the trust that first brought him to power. Follow Business Standard for more such stories.